an art house Minions movie. That's what I want to see.
Once Minions become public domain, we'll see what the public does with it in 200 years.
We'll be dead.
Hopefully.
We're Frozen. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be great? A Charlie Kaufman written and directed Minions movie.
It'd be pretty sick. It'd be like his didn't he add script notes to a children? No, I'm thinking of Noah Baumbach for Madagascar 3.
Yeah. So much to talk about that we've already talked about. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a real fun episode. Because last time our recording didn't quite work out 100% because we're in a new space today. I am, at least. Chandler's in familiar, well-worn background territory.
Yeah. Not much longer, but for now, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah, not much longer. We may have in-person split takes soon.
Nope. Not leaving my room.
Oh. We're going to be zooming from
20 feet away.
Feet away. Yeah. That'll be funny. I mean, we could.
No. Put it in the kitchen.
We'll do it. We'll do cooking. Every episode we'll cook and talk about movies at the same time. What could go wrong? The audio will be great.
Be awesome.
Welcome to the Split Take Podcast. Obviously, I'm one of your hosts, Jacob.
I'm your other host, Chandler.
Yes, we have to get back into the swing of things. We haven't really. I mean, we technically recorded an episode. What was it, like a week and a half ago now?
Yeah, something like that.
But then before that, we had a good 3-month break because we obviously were shooting the movie, and then there was a bunch of moving around and going to Los Angeles, and just a lot of craziness in both. In my life. But you had a lot of trips and stuff that you've been doing the past month or so.
Went to Seattle. It was fun.
Have you been keeping up on your movie watching over the summer?
Oh yeah. The only break I've had from movie watching this whole year was that few weeks we were shooting the movie, and even then I watched at least 3 a week.
That was a break for me because I just didn't watch anything. I didn't have the bandwidth when I got back. I didn't even watch any TV episodes. I was after filming, I'd often go back to the house where I was staying, and I was like, oh, this would be a great time to watch a TV episode because I'm tired and I don't think I want to devote myself for 90 minutes plus to a movie. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, this is a good time to get back into watching TV. Couldn't even bring myself to watch a 23-minute episode.
I'm fully back into it. I've been that's all I've been doing the last few days is watching TV.
I've been watching a lot of TV too. You know what TV show?
Better Call Saul.
That too, but no, because that's only been the yes, but no, because that's been the new episodes, which only have been coming out one every week. So I haven't been binging that, but I have been watching one television program every day for the past week.
MasterChef. I don't know.
No. But that would be a good choice. Sometimes I do go into a MasterChef binge. No, Columbo. I'm back on the Columbo train.
Oh, nice.
Yes. There was a particularly funny one last night. Forgot the name of the episode, but Columbo has his dog, the great big Basset Hound.
Cute.
And in this episode, he just keeps leaving it with different people because the dog has abandonment issues apparently now.
Oh.
And so he leaves it with a car mechanic who he interviews, and then leaves it with a kid. Just would you please watch my dog for a minute?
Is there even a mystery, or is it just the whole episode he's just leaving?
No, of course there's a mystery.
Oh, okay.
And sure. This is the episode with the God, I'm gonna the guy from the original David Lynch's Dune.
Patrick Stewart.
Jose Ferrer, who is the father
of Abel. No, not Abel Ferreira.
Miguel.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, as the murderer.
Whoa.
You see, typically that would be a spoiler for a murder mystery, but it's Columbo.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Anyway, so good program. Lots of fun. I'm enjoying them quite a bit. Anyway, what TV are you watching?
I finished up when we stopped shooting the movie. I finally caught up on Barry, and Barry's in its third season, just ended a few weeks ago. And that is what I would say is the best show on TV right now, but I'm only 2 episodes in. But the new Nathan Fielder program, The Rehearsal, is very fucking funny. But what I have been going through more consistently than anything else is that I finally started The Wire, which long lauded as one of the best shows of all time.
I've only heard great things.
I've gone through a lot of the shows claimed to be the best. I did the Breaking Bad, half of Better Call Saul, Sopranos, Succession, that sort of thing. But The Wire is very, very good. Definitely recommend it. It's one of the most well researched shows I think I've ever watched. Where just like there's a lot of cop shows, a lot of criminal type things where you can tell the writers are sort of giving their best guess as to how the whole thing operates. This show is just like every aspect, every facet of the justice system is explored, and it's really entertaining. Kind of dense, but really, really good. Other than that, yeah, just movies. Rewatching MasterChef, of course. Finally getting into that new season where they bring back a bunch of old contestants, which is funny because this is my first season of MasterChef, so it's probably the worst one to start with.
Really?
Where it's just
you haven't seen it before?
No.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, learned a lot. Still can't cook for shit, but learning a lot.
Well, it's not really a show that teaches you how to cook in any way. It teaches you a lot about food and about how professional chefs do cook.
Yeah,
but it doesn't teach you how to do any of that. Really,
you learn a little bit just by watching. But
yes, I mean you can pick up by inference and stuff like that. But its primary purpose is not to like say, "Oh, this is how you do X, Y, and Z."
Yeah. Other than that, I got nothing. My TV watching is more than usual, but I don't usually watch any, so it's still not a lot.
It's more than usual for me too, because like I said, watching Columbo, but also like we mentioned, watching Better Call Saul, and that's just a damn good TV program. There's I don't watch much, so this doesn't really mean much coming for me, but it's the best television show on TV right now. Really being released.
It is funny because it's on its 6th season, and obviously you've seen every episode. I've only watched the first 3 seasons, and I'm going to start again once it finishes, so I can watch it all through. But it is funny because my YouTube recommended has been full of Breaking Bad clips for like 2 or 3 years, and every time you get a clip that has Saul Goodman in it, you kind of get a little sad. What became a fun side character is now a tragic hero in his own right.
Well, I'm getting a little sad because we're 4 episodes away from the final episode of Better Call Saul, and that's it's starting to sink in. It's the end of an era. There's not going to be any more. I don't think they're going to be doing any other sort of a spin-off.
I can't imagine what they would do.
I'm sure you could come up with something. I mean, when they first announced Better Call Saul, everyone was like, "What? You're going to do a whole spin-off TV show? Aren't you jumping the shark with that?" And then they proved us wrong with their good storytelling. But I'm sure that if they someone put a gun to their head, Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan, they could come up with a spin-off show. I don't know. Huel. Huel the TV show.
I didn't see El Camino. Did El Camino end on a note that would imply there's no more Jesse Pinkman?
There's a finality to that. Although I suppose you could continue the story if you wanted to. I don't know. You follow Marie, the shoplifting years.
Walter Jr.
Where does he end up? It has to be a tragedy. It has to be, they start out as a normal character and then go downhill.
What was the fuck was the baby kid?
Holly,
yeah. Yeah. Should be like 10 now, if that. No, she'd be 14.
When? Oh,
well, she was
literal
born
time.
Yeah, if it was modern day. Yeah,
the actual the little baby that actually played Holly.
Yeah, no one wants to see a show about a 14-year-old.
Oh, no one wants to see a show about a 4-month-old.
Also true. Hey, no one thought they wanted to see a show about a lawyer, but
Could be Baby Breaks Bad. No. The sixth season of Better Call Saul has been absolutely marvelous, and it season 5 I wasn't quite as keen on, although in retrospect it's gotten a lot better, and I think it deserves I think I was just sleeping on it a little bit because I wasn't very good about like watching it in order and in like a concise time frame. But season 6, it's like the past 3 episodes have just been like practically 10 out of 10s, knocking it out of the park.
So similar to the last season of Breaking Bad, where everything was just like perfect.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if they so far out of the 9 episodes they've released so far of the season, it's definitely the best season they've produced yet of the show, which is really rare and really nice to be able to say that about a TV show, that it ends on its highest note.
But yeah, Breaking Bad did.
What about The Sopranos?
I was just about to say, I think The Sopranos really gets good like season 6 and 7.
I always got the impression that The Sopranos, like it does get better as it goes on, but the quality is fairly consistent, and like there's episodes that are really great every season.
Different. So season 1 is just like it's Goodfellas, the TV show. Season 2, they take the sort of structure of Goodfellas and make it its own thing. It starts off so loud and violent and straightforward with a lot of needle drops, and as the show goes on, it gets quieter and quieter. It goes from the Goodfellas to the Godfather over the course of like 7 seasons, but there's like maybe 1 or 2 less than great episodes, but like the whole thing is really consistent.
That's another TV show that I've started watching.
Yeah. It's a lot to get through. I will make. Here's my pact to the Split Take viewers: is they're currently filming the 4th seasons of both Barry and Succession. I'm gonna make Jacob rewatch one of them with me, probably Succession, because I think he'd like it more.
Sure, that it's always sounded interesting, something that I'd like. But.
The pitch for Succession is Adam McKay if he was good, but he wasn't annoying. Hey. There it is.
Yeah, I was already sold. Now I'm a little more sold. So that's pretty good. So that's TV.
That's television.
I am just gonna, before we move on, just gonna really emphasize the last episode 9 of Better Call Saul just kind of put me into a mood, like this melancholic mood of like it's the end of an era.
Yeah. R.I.P. the Albuquerque universe.
Yeah. It specifically because that episode itself is a bit of a goodbye to the Jimmy McGill years, and we are starting to time skip forward and move closer and closer to the Gene years in Nebraska. So.
Oh, yep. Jimmy, Saul, Gene. Yeah, I always forget about the Gene. Takovic?
Gene Takovic in Omaha, Nebraska.
Imagine
a sad story. It has been incredibly tragic. Like 3 episodes in a row, just kind of like gut punching you. And it's such an enjoyable experience, which is weird to say, but it's good to watch TV that I like. And I don't watch that much TV. So Chandler will get me to watch some more.
I'll try. I mean, I don't watch that much, but what I choose is quality.
Well, more would be every TV show I watch, like just an episode of a new TV show. That's a monumental achievement.
Yeah,
because I watch so little TV.
Columbo is a nice in between because they are like kind of little movies.
Yeah, last time I checked, they were taking off a lot of the Columbo episodes on Letterboxd, which makes no sense to me. Like they are just movies. They're TV movies, but they're all 90 minutes. Yeah. The only cast member that continues is Columbo and his dog. So each are their own unique thing. It's not like
no continuity.
It's not serialized. It's everything is written and made to be precisely like a movie. It's just that it's on a TV show.
What you should have been doing from the beginning is ranking them all.
God, geez, that's almost too much.
No, every time you watch a new episode, you just make a little tier list and you try to see where it fits.
There was one, the Any Old Port in Storm, or something is the title, and it's about an Italian wino, big wine freak, and it was a really good episode. 1 and 2. I'm kind of upset I didn't watch it with Nick. I feel like that'd be a good first episode for him.
Italian.
It's very Italian.
Got to get everyone started on the Cassavetes episode.
And that's pretty good too. I was actually, speaking of which, we're just going to keep getting distracted by TV shows. I was driving the other day. It was actually a week ago today. I was over at the Griffith Observatory and driving around Griffith Park after that. And we drove by, I think it's called like the Greek Theater or something. And I was like, holy shit, that's a Columbo set right there. That's where John Cassavetes' episode was filmed. And that was really cool to see that. Like, it was just, my mind just immediately flashed back to frames from the episode of.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that in the coming years.
Yes. I have had this idea in quite a bit for a while now, that we lost our original episode for Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's one of the few episodes. Like, we surprisingly, we've only ever lost like maybe 3 total. Maybe not even that. And that one we need to redo. And hey, we could go visit some locations from Blade Runner for that.
There are a few.
We'll do a field trip episode. The Bradbury Building downtown.
Yeah, that's what.
There's the drive through the tunnel. It's featured in the Deckard drives through once or twice. There's not that many locations, but there are. They're sort of iconic.
Go to the Tyrell Building.
Yeah, that big monolithic
giant pyramid in the middle.
I wake up to it every day. It's right outside the window. If I opened it up, you'd see it.
And the fire shoots.
It'd be blown out. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let me open up the window for you.
Sure, Joel. Can't see anything.
There it is. There's the Tyrell Building.
Yep. You better edit that in post.
Oh, I'm most definitely editing that in. All right. So we're here today after all that talk about TV, which, hey, we are here to talk about new things we've been watching in 2022. And all these TV shows have been new, except for The Wire. That's not new. So yeah, on this episode's Split Take Podcast, we're going to talk about the movies we've been watching in 2022, some of the best, some of the worst, and everything in between. It is also July. So the Barnes & Noble sale is going on. So we're going to talk about the movies, the pickups that we have picked up at Barnes & Noble. And I don't know, what do you want to do first?
Let's do the pickups.
All right, let's do the pickups. We'll do we'll do like go back and forth. You'll do one, then I'll say one that I got. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think you have more, so how about you go first?
I might, yeah.
No, you definitely have more.
I'll start with the classic one that I think everyone in the house now owns, except for maybe Nate, and that is Jackie Chan's Police Story.
We have 3. We will have 3 copies of Police Story, which is great.
Yeah, I've only seen Police Story 1, and I just gotta say this is like one of the nicest covers, and it's one of the nicest Criterion packages.
It's great.
I think. It's you got the inside, which is Police Story, the cover, I guess, poster.
It's one of the very few Criterions with a slipcase.
Yeah.
And
I actually have the other one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you got the other one too.
Which is Sexualized in Videotape.
Oh, no, there's a third one. Anyway, okay. So
which one? What's the other one?
Did you get Pink Flamingos yet?
Oh.
I kind of assumed you would get that.
I did, yeah. It's in the garage.
That has a slipcase, right? I seem to recall that.
It does.
From
it does.
Nick's
Actually,
copy.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I knew this was like a solid release, but I didn't realize how fucking packed it was with features. So I'm gonna rewatch Police Story 1, then go to Police Story 2, and there's just so much shit to watch on here. Lots of Edgar Wright featurettes, which I appreciate. But yeah,
he's a big fan. It's a good movie. It's really fun.
It's so much funny.
I've been feeling a rewatch of it lately too.
We'll do both.
Good. All right. First one I'm going to talk about is a new release that we talked about on the podcast. It is the Worst Person in the World, which is
new one.
It's an interesting cover. It's a new movie from 2021 release. I do if I'm going to make any comments about the particular design, I like the design of the outer cover, except they did the blue lettering on a black background, which is not particularly visible. It might be the second least visible title on a spine. Bright, it's not the worst. The worst is definitely The Double Life of Veronique, which uses dark brown on black, which is almost impossible to read even if you're holding it.
Gross.
Yes. So what I do really like about this Criterion, there's enough special features where I'm not like annoyed. It's not like one of those, they put one conversation with the director and then over and done with. I would have liked more, but there's plenty of interviews with everyone, the actors and the cinematographer and the sound designer, and I need to get around to watching those. I rewatched the movie. It's great, obviously, but I absolutely love the interior design of this Criterion.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just really simple and great little cartoons.
Nice.
From the movie. Yeah, I love it. Really effective. It might be one of my favorite, like the interior look of a Criterion. So,
let's
good
see.
movie. I recommend it.
This is there's a few traditions I do with every sale, and one of them is, of course, the classic blind buy. Usually it's stuff that I've never even heard of before. So the one I got was this. It's called
Kameradschaft.
Kameradschaft. Yeah, Kameradschaft, which directed by a German director by the name of G.W. Pabst. And I was thinking, why does that name sound familiar? It's one of the directors that Michael Fassbender's character in Inglourious Bastards talks about. That just is so much worse.
Tries to fix light, makes it worse.
Yeah. Another thing I've been doing, another rare or new and interesting thing I've been doing is actually watching the Criterions I bought.
Oh, so, wow. What a novel concept.
Crazy. So I did watch this, and it's very, very good. It's kind of propaganda, but like in a good way. Because it was made in 1931 by a German director. This is right before things started getting a little kooky in Germany, to say the least.
Kooky.
And there's still a lot of like post World War I tension. It's a movie about how the French. Basically the concept is it's about a mine in which French and Germans work in the same mine shaft, but there's like a border wall that separates the German section and the French section. The French section collapses, with the implication being that they're dumb Frenchmen. They don't know how to build a mine. So it's basically like, German heroes go down to the French mines to save them and put aside their differences. And it's, they have like it's such a weird shot where like the French miner and the German miner pair up, but they do like this handshake thing, but they freeze frame the handshake, but it's like organic. So they just stand still for like 12 seconds where you see the close up of these two guys holding hands. And it's, it's nice, but it'd be one thing if they were portrayed as equals, but the Germans are very much like these dumb Frenchmen. They can't even mine right. We got to go in there and save them, but also we're friends. But good movie. Really solid.
Like good movie. I've been wanting to watch that for a long time.
It's good. Yeah, sub 90-minute thriller. It's got some really nice special effects for 1932. Because they build little miniatures and they collapse the miniatures. It's good. Solid. But it is one of those that doesn't really have a lot of features, but it's a fun little cover. I like me a gas mask.
Gas masks, very cool. All right. My next Criterion purchase, which I just made this week, is another 2021 release, another one of my favorites from the year, and it is Drive My Car. And this is, I'm surprised. I really like this release. I thought it was kind of light on bonus features, but it's a bit more than I was expecting, which is kind of nice.
This is a really nice cover.
It is a really nice cover. Like, this is just a solid, it's very Ozu-esque. It's like some of the Ozu releases, which they also have kind of like the blocky design on them.
They have like a little bit of the poster, which has kind of become like really famous, just a simple poster, but they added some stuff to it. It's nice. It's
great. I love like the off-white with the navy. That's just a great color pairing for it. Just feels very professional and nice. And then obviously the disc is missing because it's in the Blu-ray player at the moment, but the little pamphlet.
Currently watching it?
Yeah, well, I popped it in to check out the the menu and everything, look at the quality of the Blu-ray and all that. But it was what's the interior
Nice.
of the and then the booklets equally is kind of just simply made. I love just the simplicity of the design and everything. And there's the car keeps appearing. So it's great.
Can't escape that car. Another one that I got, and I've already gotten a hell of a lot of mileage out of it. My first 4K Criterion purchase, despite the fact that I don't own a 4K player. Raging Bull. Ooh. Yeah. Awesome. This is another one that I don't know if it was released before. It might have been. I don't remember. But I got it because I quite enjoy a lot of the Scorsese releases. It has a shit ton of special features. Like they have a whole feature-length making of documentary. They got interviews with cast and crew and the guy that it's based off of. They got 3 different commentary tracks. It's a beautiful looking movie. I've already watched it twice. This is like one of those, first 4K. I think it's a great looking. Well, I haven't been able to watch it on 4K yet, but I'm sure we'll do it soon. Really solid. Kind of a no-brainer. I'll get any smarty that gets in the collection, but
hey, I'm due for a rewatch of it, so maybe we can watch it when you get here.
Yeah, I'd happily watch it a third time. I've been thinking about it all week. It's a good movie. My redemption arc is complete.
All right. My third and final movie for the sale. I'm keeping myself to 3 because I'm just a poor boy living in LA now. 3 was even a stretch, to be fair. But this is also my first 4K purchase. It was the first purchase of the sale too, and it is the Jean-Pierre Melville's The Red Circle. And we've talked about Melville a few times on the podcast with Les Samurai and Army of Shadows, both of which are 2 of my favorite movies. Red Circle is another great movie, great crime thriller, great heist sequence in it. This is it's a pretty great release. Lots of bonus features and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's 4K. The interior is pretty simple. I'll just show it off because I did it with the other few. It's just
beautiful.
Mostly just a copy of the inside.
It's a heist movie, if I remember correctly.
It is. Yes, there is like a central heist. The whole movie builds up to a heist, and then you see also the fallout and the aftermath from that heist. Sort of it's sort of Rafifi-esque in that sense. And where like the heist is like the centerpiece of the film and everything is built up around it.
Yeah.
But great movie. Great if you want to great to watch on like a rainy day, or if you're feeling kind of melancholic, or you want to just have like dreary French landscape shots of
or even Melville
of nihilistic French criminals pulling off in crazy robberies. Great movie, lots of atmosphere. Love Melville.
Just a few left here. Another blind buy, something I've never seen or even heard of. Il Sorpasso. I watched about 20 minutes of it the other day, and I really liked it, but I was very high, and the constant car horn was freaking me out. They have a little car horn in that little Italian car that they play at least 90 times throughout this movie. But it's a classic Italian road comedy movie. As far as I'm aware, it's kind of the blueprint for the road trip movie in a lot of ways. Like it a lot so far. I really like the cover. It's it's cute. I like the packaging. It's nice. It's one of those rare Criterions that has both a DVD and a Blu-ray, which is nice because my computer doesn't have a Blu-ray player, but I can just pop in the DVD if I need it. Another one, my final purchase, because I limited it. Realistically, I only spent about my actual money amount on about 3 Criterions, because 2 of them I got for a Visa gift card I got for my birthday. But this one I picked up the other day because I just couldn't not. John Waters' Multiple Maniacs, which is one of my favorite covers in the entire collection.
Do you have all of the John Waters releases now?
I do now. I also got Pink Flamingos, which is downstairs in my garage. I'm too lazy to go get it out. Which, by the way, Pink Flamingos is probably the best John Waters release. Just all the shit that's in it. It's loaded with special features. The cover art is great. It comes with a little doggy bag the restoration looks really good. A movie this gross shouldn't look this good. But Multiple Maniacs was like my foray into John Waters. So I'm excited to watch it again. I love the tagline: a celluloid monstrosity or atrocity. Perfect. Love John Waters. And finally, my other tradition whenever there is a sale is to get a box set. So this time I got the Joker trilogy. It's got Suicide Squad, The Dark Knight, and Joker 2019. Kidding, obviously. It's the Koker trilogy, Abbas Kiarostami. I've never seen any of these, which is nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not wow, I knew that.
Yeah, well, I've seen a good amount of Kiarostami. I've seen Close Up, Taste of Cherry, Certified Copy, and I think one more I'm forgetting, but I really like him. He's 3 for 3 as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of the people love all these movies, so it's one that I want to get through pretty quickly, but Kiarostami usually takes me like a week to recover from, so we'll see if this is the case for this.
They're not really movies you can watch one after another.
No. But this is a crazy package. You have it, don't you? The Koker
I do
trilogy?
have it, yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite trilogy packagings.
It's very nice. So I'll give you my updates when I finally watch these. Oh, wait, no. I did get one more. Fuck. Hold on.
Well, I was going to say before we moved on from that is I think it's Through the Olive Trees is the third one, and then it's And Life Goes On is the second one. I think the second one's my favorite. But it's a surprising trilogy, and if I remember correctly, I don't think Kiarostami really thought of it as a trilogy, even though as you watch it, it's very much like each is a continuation in a very interesting way of the one before it. So it makes a very clear trilogy.
Fuck.
Oh,
Tokyo
finally!
Story.
Did you not? You didn't have that? Oh wow!
I didn't own a single Ozu, which is pretty crazy.
That's surprising. I did not know that. I thought you would have.
Yeah. No, Tokyo Story is a movie that I've seen 2 or 3 times, but I think it was the most recent rewatch that made it like one of my favorites. So I'm glad to finally own an Ozu. But I mean, it's a great place to start.
Conversely,
I've seen a good amount.
All of the Blu-ray Ozu releases in the Criterion Collection.
Damn, all of them?
Yeah, there's only 5 or 6.
Let me see if I remember. It's Good Morning, Tokyo Story, Late Spring, Autumn Sonata, or what's it called? Autumn Afternoon. Yeah. That's Bergman, isn't it? Autumn Sonata. Yeah. The last one, is it the tea one?
Flavor of green tea over rice.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Nice. I'd say wait for the Ozu box set, but there's too
many. There's so many Ozu.
There's so many, and a lot of them are missing.
Yeah. A lot of them, I think they're never going to be released on anything other than DVD, because there's just no way to like upgrade that the transfer, or at least not the there's not the money behind upgrading a lot of them, because it just take too long. So many of them are in such a bad condition that they are what they are.
R.I.P.
Or lost.
Yeah.
Lots of them are lost too.
Yeah.
So actually R.I.P. indeed.
Well, we got the good ones. And yeah, that's all I got. Which, 7. That's way more than I thought I was going to get.
Yeah, 7. That's a good, that's a solid haul. I feel like that's normal years when I was employed constantly. That's, about what you'd get.
Yeah, well, this is my final pre-LA haul. I'm sure once I get there, it'll be substantially less. But going out with a bang.
You have until November to save up.
True. I'm getting to the point now where a lot of the ones I really, really want, I have. So everything.
Now you just have to do more blind buys.
That's true. Or just see more movies, I guess.
There's always Arrow you could buy, and
True.
Lober.
That is true.
There's plenty of other things. One of the movies I did buy, and I don't have it with me here, but I also bought the Arrow release of Battles Without Honor and Humanity, the first one.
Oh, okay, because they have a box set, but that's very hard to come by.
Right, but they do have each one individually released. And as far as I can tell, other than the box that they all come in, it's the same release. So I got the first one, and I'm definitely going to get the other 4 eventually. But it was very nice. I rewatched it, showed Nick and Nate it, and they were both like, "What the fuck's going on? This is fun."
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's going on. Yeah.
So we are back for part 2 of the episode, in which we're going to talk about the movies we've seen in 2022, and for lack of any other alternatives, we're gonna be going over stuff we've talked about before. So just so Chandler knows, we're gonna maybe repeating some things. That's okay.
Perfectly fine.
But also finding new things to say, because some movies deserve to be praised in as many ways as they can be, and to be derided in as many ways as you can think of.
So some you have to like sit on for a bit. But I thought one that we could start with is one that at the time that we recorded the first attempt, only Jacob had seen, but now both of us have seen it, and that is the new Top Gun movie.
Oh, you watched Top Gun Maverick, which is now one of the top 10 highest grossing movies domestically in the US,
which is crazy.
Wild. I'm still shocked that a movie like Top Gun Maverick won, that it's earned so much money, but also Top Gun and the new-ish Spider-Man, that in post-pandemic years, still sort of pandemic movie watching years, that they've managed to gross as much money as they have.
Yeah, I feel like we're now pretty much at the point where, theaters are back to pretty much full capacity. But yeah, it's just odd. I really liked the Top Gun movie. It's obviously much better than the first one. But I remember when the trailers dropped like 2 years ago, right as COVID started. I remember seeing the trailers and thinking, I don't give a shit. Why would you be making this? This doesn't look like. I thought some of the shots were cool, but I just remember thinking like you cannot pay me to see this movie.
That's really interesting. That's a fairly common reaction. I mean, I had that. I went with Brenton, who has been on the podcast once or twice. He had a similar kind of reaction, and it even seems like a movie that would be sort of geared towards him. But I was surprised that even the trailer didn't turn him on. And I think it's just that we're not the target demographic.
No, a lot of ways. Yeah.
We disappeared there for a second.
I was cleaning the lens. I think it's just a little smudged, but
smudged, whatever.
What are you gonna do?
Anyway, yeah, Top Gun Maverick. It's just a lot of fun. It's so much fun. Is what it is. It's a piece of military propaganda, essentially.
It's very shameless about it, which
it's shameless, but that's
nice.
It's nice. Yes, it's weird that it's nice in that sense, but it gets like the basics of storytelling correct. It has a character,
it's a great script
that it makes you interested in and everything. So it's not like shameless military propaganda, like Triumph of the Will is shameless military propaganda, in that like it's just military propaganda. No, Top Gun Maverick gives you a good story, puts the effort in to tell you, give you a nice little arc, flesh out some of the characters and all that.
Incredibly good at raising stakes, I thought which is rare now. I feel the stakes are thrown at you, but you don't feel them. Also weird too is that it's a movie that is inherently nostalgic, this fucking almost 40 years, but it doesn't play it very nostalgia baity, I don't think.
I think one of the nostalgia bait sequences is when they do a flashback to some of the older footage from Top Gun. I think it's when Maverick is standing outside of the bar.
Yeah,
he flashes back, and some of that was like integrated in like a really weird way, where I felt
it
like
was.
It
I agree.
Natural
but,
and better.
But that's edited. not even like nostalgia-y to me. That's more like filling in the people who may have not seen the first one.
I suppose. I just think it was done in such a way. It was like, remember this, and it felt like lazy, like they just needed to get it out of the way, and it wasn't like it didn't like ruin the scene or anything like that. But it did feel like it could have been handled a lot more tastefully.
Yeah. When I say that it wasn't nostalgia baity, I mean basically that they never played Danger Zone.
Oh, they played Danger Zone.
Shocked. When did they play Danger Zone?
Yeah, the opening credits, didn't they?
I don't remember. Did they?
Because the opening credits are almost exactly, from my understanding, almost an exact shot-for-shot remake of the original.
They were better. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, they're better. Okay, like that. Yeah. That's a great way of starting the movie.
Yeah.
But it starts with the opening theme of Top Gun, and then that transitions into Highway to the Danger Zone, just during the opening credits when they're on the aircraft carrier.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Still.
But it's not during the actual movie. It's before the narrative starts.
It's a movie that I figure that if I didn't see it in the theaters, I probably wouldn't see it for a very long time because it's very much a theater going movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad that I saw it, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, yeah, I'd happily watch it again at home. Probably has to be like really loud, but yeah.
I didn't really have any intention of going to a theater to see it, but I'm really happy that I did, and I went to one of like the really nice Los Angeles theaters that have good. It's practically an IMAX screen and really good surround sound, so it was just blasting. The airplane, the directionality of the sound and everything was perfect. It's definitely one of those movies you have to go see in a theater.
Plus, you get to see the 40-foot Nicole Kidman ad, which is nice.
Jesus Christ, that nonsense. Oh,
I'm pro Nicole Kidman ad for the viewers at home.
I'm trying to remember how much we talked about it last time. I am not pro the Nicole Kidman ad. I like the Nicole Kidman ad because it's such a shit post at this point.
It's so great.
The issue with the Nicole Kidman ad is the theater makes me sit through 20 minutes of trailers.
It's a lot. AMC has so many more trailers. Yeah,
I don't want to see any of the trailers really, but the amount is just excessive already. And then they play their stupid ass, let's get popcorn and go to the theater little movie. The lights go down. And then they play the Nicole Kidman thing. It's like, just let me see the movie for fuck's sake.
That's the opening act.
If it's just like two trailers and then the Nicole Kidman thing, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, show me Nicole Kidman saying that somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Yeah.
Show me that. Great. But no, by the time we get to it, I'm just annoyed. I want to watch the movie.
That's fair. That's the only reason I don't go to the movies anymore is to see the Nicole Kidman ad.
I definitely need to make use of my AMC stubs a bit more. I was contemplating going to see was it Marcel with the shoes on, the shell with whatever it is.
That the reviews have been very, very good. Here's the thing, that voice makes me want to kill myself. And I feel like I couldn't handle. You never watched them in high school?
No.
They're adorable shorts, but there's a reason they're shorts because that voice, I just want to step on it. Fucking shell. Do you know who's in that movie playing the grandmother of the shell?
No.
Isabella Rossellini.
Oh yeah. I looked at the cast list the other day, and I thought that was weird.
That is odd.
I'm glad she's still around, getting work.
Yeah. I didn't know she's Italian.
You didn't?
No.
Oh.
I just assumed she was French. She looks French.
This is true. I mean, she's Swedish and Italian, so
yeah.
I think French is probably the middle ground between those two.
Any other movie? I have a lot since the last time we talked, but I'm only going to talk about the ones that deserve to be talked about. I think.
I'm going to talk about shit too, because obviously we're gonna go over a few things. I'm just gonna I think I've discussed one or two of these, so I'm just gonna rapid fire say a few thoughts on some of the worst things I've seen so far this year. Because I've seen three movies that were just terrible. And it was Death on the Nile, Secrets of Dumbledore, and Jurassic World Dominion. And
blockbusters are back, baby.
Oh, they're back. Secrets of Dumbledore, I'm surprised it made as much money as it did. I'm surprised that Warner Brothers greenlit the rest, the two more movies, because it's the series has definitely been running out of steam.
No one likes them.
No one. I'm sure there has to be people out there that like them, or at least are willing to go to a theater and take a chance. So maybe people who've already forgotten how bad the previous one was, because it had been some time. So maybe they tricked themselves into thinking it was worthwhile. But no, it was a boring, confusing mess. Awful screenwriting. I do enjoy watching. I will watch all of them. When the other two come out, I will watch them because I think they are masterclasses in how not to write a screenplay. Because obviously J.K. Rowling has no idea how to do that. Jurassic World Dominion. I went and saw it with Nick and Sanju, and they were both like, "This is the worst thing ever." And I was like, I was mildly entertained. It was absolutely awful. It was a piece of shit. I don't recommend it, but I was mildly entertained. I have to be honest. It's just kind of fun seeing dinosaurs and all that, and it was great seeing Jeff Goldblum and God, why can't I think of her name at the moment?
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. Damn. It was great seeing the original cast back for a little bit, but it was definitely a case of they were trying to do too much in the movie. It was a case of too little butter spread over bread, and it just went on, and I miss the days when big action blockbusters could that the filmmakers could have the wherewithal to pare it down to just its most essential elements and just present a well-paced, efficient blockbuster that's under 2 hours. I miss that. This was a bloated, terrible, messy film, and I wish it was better, but it wasn't. But the dinosaurs were kind of fun. And then Death on the Nile. It's fun. I love Poirot. We've talked a lot about that. I will never not find Kenneth Branagh entertaining, at least on some level.
I support Kenneth Branagh.
That's good. So
I don't care
if you're
how
like
bad
me,
the movies are,
you like murder mysteries, you like Kenneth Branagh, watch it. It's not quite as bad as the other two, but there is a lot of weird editing. Screenwriting is kind of wonky, and it's just all over the place tone wise. The CGI is genuinely awful at points, which was shocking. Good. But I have seen like a lot of dialogue online lately about like people complaining about bad CGI in movies, and I will stick by my guns. I don't give a shit. I don't know why people do. Like I will like mention the CGI was bad in Death on the Nile, but it never actually like the movie was bad on other levels in more important ways. So I'm not. It's just a superficial criticism, I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna go through some here that I just ones I want to shout out. One of them that I've watched twice already. Once just by itself, once with the commentary, was actually a movie that when I went to go pick up my first round of Criterions, it was one that I wanted to get, and I got Il Sorpasso instead. And I'm kind of glad I did because it was good but a little rough around the edges. And it's a movie called Man Push Cart. Came out in 2005. For people that don't know, it's about it's basically like a sort of fly on the wall story about an Iranian cart pusher. He basically has like a little breakfast stand outside in New York, and it's just his day-to-day life. You learn throughout the movie that he was actually like a rock star back in I think it's Pakistan, and then he had to immigrate to the U.S. to make money for his kid because his wife died, and it's just like, you know, it's the American experience, but told from like the margins of it. And it's a very interesting movie. It invokes the myth of Sisyphus in a very interesting way. Because, you know, man push cart, obviously he's just pushing the cart up the hills of New York. It's shot for next to nothing. It's New York's got a lot of hills.
Does it?
In the sense, not like hills that are like full of green, but it's not as flat as you'd think it is. It's kind of like San Francisco, where you'll just turn a corner and it's just all uphill.
Interesting.
Not to the same degree as San Francisco, but it's a great movie shot for next to nothing, and you see that in some scenes where like there's a scene that takes place at a karaoke bar where it's just four friends up against a wall that's lit with like neon lights, and you never see anything aside from the wide shot. So it's a karaoke bar, but it's done so in a way that you actually believe it because of the sound design and how the camera's framed. It's like a really good lesson on like no budget filmmaking. And I watched it with a commentary, and it's really good. He's got another movie that was recently added to the Criterion Collection, Chop Shop, which I'm excited to look at. But yeah, it was solid. It's on the Criterion channel for people interested. Really good movie. Sub 90 minutes too. That's what I gravitate towards nowadays, is sub 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good length of time for a movie.
Yeah.
I watched a similar, it's not sub 90 minutes, but it's 96 minutes, a movie called The Duke, starring good old Jim Broadbent and Helen Mirren. It was technically released back in 2020, but it never actually got a release in the United States until 2022. So we get to count it as a new movie of sorts. It's based on a real life story of a 60-year-old man who stole a Goya portrait, like a really famous
Damn.
art painting from the National Gallery in London. He just kind of waltzed in there and took it.
Nice.
There's some twists and turns to that story, so that's not exactly what happened. But he is a bit of a based man. He is for like social change and all that kind of stuff, and he's promoting throughout the movie that there's a BBC tax. So if you have the BBC, you have to pay a tax in order to fund the public service.
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah, but everyone had
weird.
to pay it, including old
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
including people who didn't even get the BBC. If you had a TV, even if it wasn't capable.
Which is so odd.
Yes. And so that's what he was protesting against. And he
Fucking
stole the
England.
painting with the intent of ransoming it back to get money to pay for
That's
a bunch
based.
of elderly people's BBC licenses.
That is incredibly based.
Jim Broadbent, great actor. It's always fun. I mostly just watched it to see him because he's just a delightful British actor to watch. And he was pretty good. It is also has Fionn Whitehead, who was in Dunkirk, in it. I can't think of any other movies I've seen with him in it, but that was interesting to see him again. It's just your competently made biopic. There's no surprises, good or bad. It's a little dull in that sense, but it is just a competently made movie. You're not going to be angry with it, but you're not going to be like, oh, that was great. So it's just a decent time. It
was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie. A good little
lowercase M movie.
Yeah.
I finally finished a director's filmography the other day. Small filmography, but finally watched Millennium Actress, the 2001 film from Satoshi Kon, animated movie. I think it's still really out there and weird, but I think it's his most straightforward movie. Like every movie that I've seen from him, by the end of it, I'm like, wait, what? I don't necessarily understand what's going on. This and Tokyo Godfathers. Tokyo Godfathers is just a straightforward, like, it ends kind of out of nowhere, but it's just about people. There's no real dream, surreal elements to it. Millennium Actress, I thought, was like really, really good. You've seen it, haven't you?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's cute, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just it's a movie about this journalist who's interviewing a aging actress, and she talks about her life, and her life sort of imitates, or her art imitates her life, and it becomes this weird psychological trip where you're going back through her memories, but the journalist, who's like a super fan, sort of interjects himself in the memories, which are also movies that she made. It's fun. It's really, it's a cute little movie. I thought of a great idea to remake this movie, but it's someone interviewing Steven Seagal, and he goes through his movies, and he's fat. It would be great. But solid. I got through his whole. He's a great director. Gone too soon, but aside from Miyazaki, I'd say he's up there with one of my favorite anime directors, or animation directors in general. Perfect Blue is still my favorite, and Paranoia Agent is also really good, but solid, really solid. It's good. It's got a great steelbook that I don't have with me, I don't think. But highly recommend any of his movies. They're all great. Oh, I have this in here though. I don't know why I have this in here.
Oh, there's Perfect Blue. Very cool. It's interesting. I just finished editing the Rio Bravo Ghost Dog episode, and that is the episode in which you had just watched Tokyo Godfathers for the first time and talked about.
Oh yeah, that's a great start. Very different than the rest of his movies, but solid movie. Great Christmas movie.
Another movie I watched was The Black Phone, which was a very fun theater experience because I got to watch it. It was my first time at the New Beverly Cinema, which is the movie theater that Quentin Tarantino operates, and it obviously it only plays film, 35 millimeter prints, or whatever.
Even have new releases?
Yeah, even new releases. The Black Phone was on a film print, and what was really fun beforehand, before the movie, they played, instead of playing normal trailers, they played trailers from Scott Derrickson, who was the director of Black Phone. They played just trailers from his filmography. So it wasn't new movies; it was just movies he had directed before. So we got Doctor Strange, and we got
Sinister.
Sinister, yeah. And so that was pretty cool. And they also played a short 5-minute Tom and Jerry cartoon beforehand. And that was a really fun
Nice.
movie experience. I can't wait to go back. They have some really great movies coming up. I think they're showing Les Samurai.
They are. They're showing late. Oh God, the list is insane. They got so much shit they're about to show next month.
Speaking
I'm
of
trying to see at least 6.
Ghost Dog, I finally rewatched it and I upgraded it to 4.5 stars, which is a victory on Chandler's part, I suppose.
That is victory, yeah.
And I got Nick to watch it, so there's another victory for you that I provided. But we obviously, so we watched Ghost Dog, and Ghost Dog obviously shares a shit ton in common with Les Samurai. And so I told Nick we have to watch it.
And Branded to Kill.
And we have to watch it.
Yep.
So now that I know that Les Samurai is going to be at the New Beverly, I'm gonna go watch that. Gonna go take Nick to watch it.
I'll go. Happily gonna go see it.
All right.
There by then. Yeah.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
So The Black Phone. It was actually a surprisingly good movie. I enjoyed myself more than I thought I would. It was a screening I got invited to. Scott Derrickson, the director, was there afterwards for a little Q&A. This was before the movie was even released, which was pretty cool. And I had a good time. As someone who doesn't really go out and watch horror movies in the theater all that much, it surprised me, as I said. And mostly because I suppose it's not really all that much like a horror movie. I think it's more of a thriller, at least from my perspective. Limited as it may be with the horror genre. There are obviously horror elements in it, but for a good majority of the movie, at least the first half of the film, it's just a period piece, bit of a mystery thriller about children being kidnapped in this neighborhood. There's great little story arcs in the movie. Really good acting from the child actors in the movie, which was one of the most surprising things about it. Just because often just get the children off the screen, please.
True.
Don't put them there. But this was the exact opposite. It was I want to see what other movies these kids have been in, which is surprising. I think also the lead actor, I think he's new, but his sister, who is can't remember the actress's name, but she's been in a couple things and she was really good. It was kind of funny. It had some really good jump scares. There was one where like the whole audience just like collectively like, whoa, just kind of like jump back. You saw just, everyone just kind of jumped a little bit, and that was great to see.
And Ethan Hawke always solid.
Ethan Hawke solid. Not he's in behind a mask for most of the movie, so you don't see his face all that much.
It's interesting that he's like the face of the movie.
It is. It's an interesting marketing campaign. It isn't quite.
It works. It's a spooky mask.
Yes, it is a good marketing campaign, but it is yet another marketing campaign for a horror movie that doesn't quite give you what the movie is actually presenting. So I had a good time. I would recommend it if you're just looking for a horror thriller movie. You're not going to get much out of it, but it was really solidly made, and there was some good filmmaking in there. And I'm very happy that Scott Derrickson left Marvel to make this, because this was his passion project instead of making Doctor Strange 2. So
it looks better than Doctor Strange 2. I would like to tell you about a movie that I watched for the first time since we last spoke, and I think you'd enjoy it because it is fucking insane. This is a movie called Walker. Recently got a Criterion release starring Ed Harris. Directed by Alex Cox, who most famously did Repo Man, which I love. It's a period piece done by someone who is essentially a punk rock filmmaker, where a lot of his movies don't really make sense, but they don't try to. He doesn't really adhere to filmmaking practices. And this is an interesting movie because it's the movie that single-handedly killed his career. It was a $6 million Western budgeted movie starring Ed Harris. It made like $200,000 back because it's just batshit insane. It tells the story of William Walker, who was a U.S. mercenary who was hired by the U.S. government to stage a coup in Nicaragua. And it uses this. Are you familiar with the term anachronisms?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of anachronisms in it that start mild, where like William Walker will start by like smoking a pack of Marlboros in the middle of the 1820s. By the end of it, his coup is being stopped by U.S. military chopper. It's
Spoilers.
it's absolutely insane because it's basically a movie that sort of satirizes the idea of the manifest destiny in American colonialism, and we're entitled to everything. And there's so many shots of just William Walker walking down like a battlefield as his men are just slaughtered and just absolutely destroyed. It's really satirical. Some of the filmmaking is just absolutely insane. It features a great bit performance by, I forget his name, but he plays the titular Big Lebowski, and he's in Blazing Saddles. It is just an absolutely insane movie. I really enjoyed it. The Criterion is nice. It's got a lot of special features. It's worth seeing just because it killed his career. If he destroyed his own future for this one movie, the least you could do is see it. Ed Harris is great. It's just a lot of fun. One of Richard Linklater's favorite movies, which is funny. It's currently streaming on the Criterion channel. Definitely recommend it.
Oh, good. I was about to ask where I can watch this movie,
Yep.
other than purchasing the new released Criterion.
Also, 94 minutes.
Oh, excellent.
There you go. Short.
Excellent. To take perhaps a slight break from, I'm going to quickly go through a few not new releases, just because I don't really have much to say about any of them, particularly individually. But I watched for the first time Dirty Harry, which is one of the few not rewatches that I've done in the past month or so, and that's great. That is a really well shot thriller, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's a good old cop movie. It's not particularly based, but it's a lot of fun, and
it's propaganda, but it's fun propaganda.
Yeah. It's great. It was enjoyed Clint Eastwood. It's one of the better ones I've seen of his. We watched The Bridge on the River Kwai, which I think I appreciated even more on this particular viewing. I do still have the opinion that the pacing slogs a bit in the end of the second act or the second half of the movie. But it is a very interesting movie, and he does say some really interesting things about colonialism, about hubris and pride, and the system of code and honor that people go by. Obviously, you have a Japanese general who is going by the code of Bushido, and then you have an English colonel who is going by his own gentlemanly code and the Geneva Code and all that. And there's some very interesting culture clash between those those two characters. Rewatched Anatomy of Murder, great movie, love it so much. Rewatched The Last Emperor, which is a Criterion I've had for the longest time, and I don't think I've ever watched it.
I didn't realize that was a Criterion.
Yeah,
I also didn't realize
in the collection.
Until you posted your review that was the same guy who did The Conformist.
Yeah, it is weird. It's a very weird movie in that it is an Italian filmmaker who is working with a predominantly American crew and working and shooting in Beijing. So
I always get The Last Emperor mixed up with Kundun.
Interesting. They're nothing.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I figured. Don't they both have like a Asian kid on the cover?
Probably, yeah. But the Last Emperor, yeah, I mean, okay, I suppose they are similar in the sense that they're both about political figures in Asia. Obviously, The Last Emperor is about the last emperor of China, and it is the movie's kind of all over the place with its character development and its script, and but it's really well shot, and the ending scene makes the whole thing worth it. It's one of my favorite ending scenes in any movie.
Interesting.
And then I rewatched the first Human Condition, No Greater Love. 3.5 hours of it. It was great.
Have you seen all of them?
Yeah, I've seen all of them. You bought the Criterion, didn't you?
I did. It's one of the few
Criterion
that I've yet to watch.
So this was the first time I had actually opened up that case and watched one of them, but it was very good.
I'm amazed that maybe by the time this comes out, it won't be the case, but Tetsuya Nakadai still kicking,
still alive. Good for him. Love him.
He did
Great actor.
He did an interview a few 2 or 3 years ago at Criterion. He looks great for being 90. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Japanese are some of the oldest living people just in general.
Yeah.
Like you either, I feel this is entirely a stereotype, but I feel like in Japan you either die fairly early of smoking too much or you live to be 105.
No in between.
But no.
Yeah.
Yep. And I will just make quick mention. I rewatched Stagecoach, another Criterion I've had, and I finally upgraded it to 4.5 stars because it's just a great John Ford.
It's fun
and a lot of fun.
One of the best, like, you know, there's very few scenes that I feel that like big name actors get like an equally big introduction. I always think about that, like that zoom in shot of John Wayne from Stagecoach. It's just really fucking.
You don't get much more classic filmmaking
No.
than that. That's
it's just
classic
wonderful.
early 30s American filmmaking.
It's almost like the movie knows, like, all right, this guy's gonna be a big deal. Here we go. The only other person I can think of that has that is Robert De Niro's introduction in Mean Streets is very similar. Which you still haven't seen, huh?
I have not, no.
Oh, I love Mean Streets. Speaking of Tetsuya Nakadai, I finally rewatched a Criterion I've owned for like 4 years and never watched, and that was High and Low. Rewatched it. It's one of those movies that I don't know, every once in a while I'll just get a movie that I fucking love and I don't want to watch again because I'm like, what if I don't like it as much a second time? Or maybe I'll forget things or whatever. I was surprised rewatching High and Low. I remembered like every second of that movie. Very rarely do I watch a movie where like the entire thing, I watch it all and it goes in my brain. This one, I was literally like beginning to end. I'm like, oh yeah, this is when this happens. This is when this happens. And goddamn, if it isn't one of the best movies ever made. Tetsuya Nakadai also in it.
Yeah, I will say that first third of the movie in the house is perhaps one of the best, if not the best, examples of actor and camera blocking together, like all together in like a synchronous kind of way.
You know, here's my hot take.
Okay.
I don't agree. Because I have an issue with the blocking in this movie similar to the issue I have with the blocking in 12 Angry Men. Where it feels overly stagey to me.
Well, I think that's sort of the point. I mean, it feels...
Yeah.
I would say it also feels stagey to me, but it's stagey in a way that I really appreciate, in a way that it takes a lot of like foresight and planning, and it's even more so because the staging is meaningful in like in expressing power dynamics and all that kind of stuff, and to do all that with a camera, because the camera is often forgotten in terms of like really good staging. I appreciate that, but I understand where you're coming from if you think it's too stagey.
I went through the special features and just how they shot it, where like most of it was shot on a sound stage, but in the scenes in which Toshiro Mifune interacts with the windows, they shot it on the actual apartment that it was based on. So the entirety of that like first half of the movie is like a mix between the actual apartment with the window and the soundstage that looks exactly like the apartment with the window.
I never would have guessed.
Which is really interesting. Yeah, exactly. And I still think that, like, you know, I watched this the first time like 4 years ago, and this is back when I was really getting into foreign films and just, you know, older movies in general. I think one of the most eye-opening like examples of like just really effective filmmaking is when they plant on early in the movie that the suitcase or something in the suitcase is made of like a certain material that when you burn it, it'll create a pink smoke. And just at the point in the movie where they seem to have lost all leads on where the killer or the kidnapper is, they see pink smoke coming from this giant factory chimney, and it's just perfect. Amazing shot.
Yeah. It was interesting. I did have a little laugh that when you mentioned 12 Angry Men as being similarly stagey and within its blocking, because 12 Angry Men is one of the I plopped in the Blu-ray disc along with like 5 other Criterions. Is like, oh, I'm gonna watch this tonight. Got like 5 minutes into it, didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I do that all the time. But yeah, it's not necessarily that I think it's bad. It's just that I prefer something that feels a little more equally representative of power dynamics while also feeling a little organic. But yeah, High and Low's fucking perfect. It's been a while since I've seen a new Kurosawa because I just constantly want to go back to the ones that I love. There's between this and Akiru, and I still like Akiru a little more, but High and Low is just, yeah, wonderful. And one other quick rewatch that I had, another equally perfect movie, was Jackie Brown. Saw that it was on HBO Max. I got up until the introduction to Max Cherry, and then I remembered, I bought this on Blu-ray like 2 months ago. So stopped the movie, went to get my Blu-ray, put in the Blu-ray, got to exactly to where it was, and that's another one that just every scene is just so well constructed. I remember it all the way through. It's just stupidly perfect movie. It's one of the best hangout movies ever made. Great.
Movies that I have yet to log on Letterboxd, but there's 2 of them real quick, really real quick. I got high last night with Nate and Nick, and we put on Despicable Me, which I haven't seen since it came out. That was classic. A lot of fun. Obviously in the Minions mood. Still haven't seen the new Minions movie, which I intend to.
As you should.
As I should.
And do it high.
Yes. So that was a lot of fun. Kind of, I don't know, I got the impression that it wasn't particularly good, but we were having a really good time with it. So, hey, that's all that counts, as long as you have a good time. And then afterwards, watched Bean. I think it's like 1998, and it's the Mr. Bean movie where Rowan Atkinson obviously plays the titular Bean. He works at an art gallery in London, and everyone hates him there because he's an idiot. And they all conspire to send him to Los Angeles, where so there's a museum in Los Angeles that's getting a new painting, and they asked the Royal Museum for an expert on painting to come and officiate the opening ceremony for this new painting they've acquired. And they send Bean because they just want to get him out of London, even though he knows absolutely nothing. So the whole movie is everyone calling him Dr. Bean. He's not a doctor in any way, and obviously he gets into wacky scenarios because he's an idiot and he has really great facial features. It's kind of it's one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen, but it's kind of funny, and it was a good time.
I don't hate Bean. A lot of people seem to really dislike Bean. I
don't dislike Bean. I just it's just simple. That's all it was.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's what you need. It's a good movie to watch under the influence of something.
I think there's a few that I've gone through here before, but I'll just be really quick. 2 that I just like to point out. Well, 2 being one part of a trilogy, but I think I mentioned last time the Pusher trilogy, which is written and directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Highly recommend it. It's 3 movies that it's technically a trilogy where first movie has a main character, and then there's like a weird secondary character, and then the next movie becomes a movie about that weird secondary character. Then it introduces another weird secondary character, and then the third one becomes like part of it. Kind of similar to The Sopranos, where it like starts off really kinetic and needle droppy and fast paced, and by the end it's really slow and character driven. All 3 are great. Highly recommend them on Amazon Prime. And I also watched the Irma Vep, which is just a great movie about shit talking French cinema. It's really solid. It's got Maggie Chung as the lead. They remade it into a series, which is weird, and directed by the guy who did the movie. Both really solid. Both highlights of what I watched this year. And Zoom is about to quit, so.
As we get towards the end, I think we've kind of avoided some of the maybe some of the better movies we've watched this past year. So let's use our remaining time here to talk about the best movies we've seen so far in 2022. We're over halfway done through the year, and there have been some interesting movies that have come out.
We're talking about new releases?
New releases, yeah.
Okay.
2022 movies. Movies, 1 or 2 we've talked about before, so we don't actually have to say much about them. But I will say, like, my top 3 is pretty strong in terms of movies I've watched. And my number 3 is the Indian movie RRR, Triple R, or however you want to say that title. This is a movie that was not at all on my radar, as are a lot of Indian movies. Don't really watch a lot. It's definitely one of my bigger blind spots in terms of world cinema.
Yeah, not even just Bollywood, but just like, I don't know. I don't really know any classical Indian filmmakers outside Satyajit Ray, who's one of my all-time favorites.
I think, is it Mira Nair? I know 1 or 2. I've seen 1 or 2 other Indian movies. There's I think it was like 2004 or something, a movie called Water, which was pretty good that I saw. from India. Anyway, this is a it's not a Bollywood movie, but it is an Indian movie, and it is a just an epic of epic proportions, a 3-hour long action extravaganza. It has the bromance of the century between its two lead actors. It is insane. It is crazy. It is so much fun. It is also, like Top Gun Maverick, it is propaganda to its most extreme sense for just Indian nationalism, but also like anti-imperialist propaganda. Yeah. It is gleefully anti-English in a way that is kind of hilarious, because
they need to be taken down a few pegs.
Almost every single British person in the movie is like a mustache twirling villain, and I needed more of it, honestly. Like, it was insane. It was it worked. The amount of just CGI action and insane things that don't even make sense in most movies, but it made sense in this movie because everything was dialed up to 11 together. So I like to say, like, when you judge a movie, I think different movies can go for different things as long as they are consistent in what they are going for. So something like Pink Flamingos is consistent in being trashy and raunchy and weird, which makes it good. In a way that, like, if you had like a weird, like, really, if you had like Pink Flamingos, but it was like shot like a prestige drama, that'd be strange and off-putting, and like,
it'd be kind of funny though.
I don't want to. It'd be weird. Like, in theory, I think you could do that.
If Chivo shot divine eating shit, it'd be weird.
Right, but like, if you have like something you're trying to accomplish in a movie, you need to match the aesthetics and the acting and everything together, so it all like is one cohesive product. And this was one cohesive product of a film of just insanity in action, in romance, in friendship, and everything. And it worked because it was all just dialed up to that level, and it was consistent in that sense. And I think a lot of things in the movie, if they were put into other movies, I'd be like, what the hell is this? This is awful. But it works in the context that the film provides. So it was great.
It kind of reminds me, it kind of reminds me of the way that just Wong Kar-wai movies feel, where if you took literally any bit of it and put it in another movie, it'd look weird. But I'm very excited to see RRR. That's gonna be the first thing that I see when I get there. I've been enjoying this trend on Twitter as of late. When someone shit talks RRR, the common response is you spell ratio with 3 R's and you post the pic of the two guys dancing with doing that overall dance.
Yeah, the dance sequences are great. The songs are great. It's just nothing but good things to say.
My top 3 like for this year is, it's fucking insane to me, because if you would have told me a year ago that the fucking Top Gun movie would outrank The Northman, I
really?
I really like Top Gun.
That's good.
I like The Northman too, don't get me wrong, but my like top 3 for this year, my favorite is still The Batman, and I feel bad saying that because there's so much good stuff that's come out. Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel like all the cred has gone to Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is still like a solid 2 for me. My second favorite, and maybe it'll go higher when I'm finally picking up the Blu-ray this week. But just between Top Gun and Batman, I'm ready to believe in blockbuster movies again. I forgot how much fun a really well-made blockbuster can be. Not that I necessarily consider the Batman to be fun, more like a spectacle, but yeah, my top 3 of the year is still Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and gotta give the Jackass, because that was still. Yeah, I'm sorry, Robert Eggers, but you can't beat Johnny Knoxville. It's the first year in a while where there's been a handful of really solid theater going experiences. And I also just want to quickly shout out a movie that I saw on a whim because I really like the guy's first movie. It's called ChaCha Real Smooth, one of the worst movie titles of all time. Written, directed, and starring a young actor named Cooper Raiff, who I really enjoy. His first movie, Shithouse, came out in 2020. Love it. And I want to mention it because he just got the go-ahead for a new movie starring, he's directing it, but he's not starring in it this time. This time it's starring David Harbour from Stranger Things and the follow-up feature film of Cooper Hoffman.
Oh, so, wow.
I'm very excited.
That's exciting. Yeah.
That is exciting. He's like 25 and he's already getting to direct Cooper Hoffman, so I'm hoping it'll be really good. As far as I know, it's a historical film. I don't really remember what the subject matter is, but really solid movie. Kind of Cassavetes-esque in that it's just a bunch of characters and their problems and not necessarily fully forming into a full story, but in a really satisfying way. Would recommend it, and now I'm officially excited because, I love licorice pizza. If I didn't say it before, could be good.
So my top 3 or my top 2 is in the exact reverse of you. So my favorite movie of the year so far is obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then number 2 is The Batman, and number 3 is RRR. So
nice,
good top 3.
Yeah, and
solid.
Again, all 3 of those. I mean, obviously, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a little less budget wise, but those are all like within the crowd pleasy blockbuster action things, and it's been, I think Marvel has kind of edged out any movies that attempt to do something similar, and just seeing it have a resurgence and seeing Marvel kind of fall to the side has been very satisfying.
Very satisfying indeed, yes. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next half of the year, because obviously the first half of the year is typically dominated by bigger budget movies, particularly the summer and all that. And so we're going to get more of the art house and festival run movies a little later in the year. I did see that the new Park Chan-wook movie, Decision to Leave, it gets its release in October. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And
I saw, I don't remember if it was TIFF or whatever fucking Canada festival there is, but I think I'm just gonna say TIFF for the sake of discussing. But the new Steven Spielberg should be coming out in like a month or two.
What's that one about again?
It's basically like an it's like a biographical film about himself, which, whatever. I like Spielberg. I've been fully Spielberg pilled, but what I'm really excited for is the David Lynch performance. I forgot he was in it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's gonna be great. It's exciting.
It's gonna be awesome. Seeing David Lynch on a big screen can be wonderful.
The big screen, directed by Steven Spielberg.
I can't imagine those two talking to each other.
Probably great. Probably wholesome.
I'm looking it up real quick. You can keep talking. I'm on a little letterbox rabbit hole. Because I also want to remember who else is in it.
Oh, we do have other things coming out later than the year. Knives Out 2, Glass Onion.
Yeah,
I believe it's coming out later in the year. Looking forward to that. Nope is going to be out now. Is it?
Yeah,
now?
I am seeing it tomorrow.
Oh, it's gotten good reviews so far. So that.
Yep.
Sounds.
It's called The Fabelmans.
The Fabelmans. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, here's the description: a semi-autobiography based on Steven Spielberg's own childhood growing up in post-war Arizona. So, I guess was it shot here? I feel like I would have known.
I don't know. I always forget that Spielberg is a Scottsdale kid.
Yeah. Paul Dano's in it, Seth Rogen, and Julia Butters, who is the little girl from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Who
indeed.
is fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me. Excited for Steven Spielberg.
Another movie coming out later in August is the I'm sure you've seen the trailer, Bullet Train.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because the other day when I was at Barnes & Noble, and I had to order Worst Person in the World and have that shipped to my house because they were out of stock in all the close by Barnes & Nobles.
Cringe.
Which was fine. The shipping was pretty quick because it's LA, so it's easy to ship here. But I was looking at the table of like they put up this little sign and it said the book was better, and one of the books on there was Bullet Train, and I looked at the back and it's based on a book written by a Japanese author, and I read the synopsis like this sounds like a great book, and it sounds completely different, at least tonally and atmospheric wise from the movie. So I found that interesting. Not that I'm gonna I have any interest in watching the movie, but I perhaps have interest in reading the book.
I like Brad Pitt. I like Brian Tyree Henry. Is that his name? Brian Tyree Henry from Atlanta? I don't know. But it looks like a giant pile of shit. Well, maybe it won't be. We'll see.
Maybe it won't be. Fingers crossed. This has been as you said, it's been a resurgence year for original blockbusters of sorts.
True.
So
also,
fingers crossed.
We also got, of course, Marty's coming back this year after a 3-year hiatus. There's literally statistically impossible that is anything less than great. I refuse. I've read the book. I love the book. Cast is solid. It's Marty. Come on.
When's it coming? Do you know when it's coming out?
I want to say November. It's supposed to be this year. Maybe it'll get pushed. I don't know. No new Noah Baumbach coming out this year.
New Damien Chazelle is Babylon. That'll be later in December.
Yeah. I have a few friends that have read the script, and they say if it's even half as good as the script, it'll be his best movie. So very excited for that.
That does sound exciting.
The resurgence of Toby. Toby's coming back.
Yeah.
As Charlie Chaplin. Weird.
All right. So that was our 2022 catch-up.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll
midway
get back into the swing of things and recording fairly consistently. I've been kind of keeping up or catching up with editing the old episodes. We still have a few more to go before we're out of the audio only podcast episodes, but they're got to get them done.
We've evolved.
It is funny that we are about to record our review for another Sergio Leone movie, because I'm going to announce that officially now and tell Chandler that we're going to do Once Upon a Time in the West next. And what's funny about that is I have yet to edit our discussion of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, which I will be doing as soon as I edit this episode, because I finally have all the audio from that after sometime.
Here's my question. All right. Do we have a movie that we want to pair it with?
No, not really. I've just been in a Western mood, so I thought since
here we go.
Had a preference.
Here's what we should pair it with. We should pair this with Dead Man.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, I think it would be an interesting pair, because I think it'll be interesting because Dead Man's a movie that I like. You don't really care for. Once Upon a Time in the West is a movie you like. I don't really care for. I think it'll be I don't care for it right now. Maybe that'll change when I watch it again. But I think it'll be a fun mixture.
This is very interesting because I just edited obviously the Rio Bravo and Ghost Dog episode, and that is a Western paired with a Jim Jarmusch movie, and here we are doing another Western paired with a Jim Jarmusch.
Maybe we'll just make a tradition. Fuck it. Next time we'll do the Searchers.
It'll be a while until we get to the Searchers. The Searchers and I don't know. Patterson.
Mystery Train. We'll do Mystery Train. No, wait.
We could do a Jarmusch retrospective episode. By that time, I probably will have caught up a bit more on this.
I think at this point, I've only not. There's literally only one I haven't seen. I should get on that. Oh well.
Alrighty then. So our next episode is going to be Once More Time in the West and Dead Man. That sounds exciting.
Wonderful. Right. It's going to be the slowest week of our lives. Fantastic.
All right. Well, thanks for watching / listening, and smash the like button, as they say.
And give it a few weeks. It'll be a new set. We'll be in the same room, and hopefully there'll be a cat there.
The video quality will be much improved, given that we will be actually recording on an actual camera and not the built-in computer webcams.
35 millimeters.
Something to look for. 35 millimeter. The first podcast released on video in 35 millimeter. That would be a selling point.
That would be. It would be.